Please and thank you is the title of today's little talk. Should probably add in you're welcome, but you can add that for yourself. How's that? If you learn how to think, you know what I'm saying. Please and thank you. You know, not every parent is as great as my parents were, but one of the things my parents liked to hear was the word please. Not just when I spoke to them. When I spoke to other adults, they liked that even more than to them. When I spoke to my sisters, even to my playmates, please was a word, and thank you was a word, or two words, that my parents liked to hear. I think most parents are that way. As we grow older, most of us, not all, most of us learn that a spouse or a significant other likes to hear those words, please and thank you. And I don't mean, once in a while. I try and remember to say thank you for every meal that's prepared for me by my wife or now my daughter. Told my wife, I said, I apologize if I don't say thank you enough for when you fix meals and such and do housework. And she said, oh, you say thank you a lot. And I know you mean it. So it's okay. Hey, I like that. I must be doing something right. Speaking of my daughter, my kids grew up hearing me say please and thank you to them. Probably not as often as I should have. I can be a little dictatorial. It's one of my biggest weaknesses. I understand that. But parents, tell your children please and thank you. My parents did. And it helps the children learn to use those words. When you get a job, and you go up to talk to your boss, and you got two choices here. Let's say you want to take a long lunch one day. Going to take your spouse out for lunch. That's always a good one. I like that one too. Hey boss, I'm going to take a long lunch today. I'll see you an hour late. That doesn't always work too good. Hey boss, may I please have an extra hour for lunch today? I promise you I'm going to make it up to you. Now that works a whole lot better. Especially if you're finished with not just I'm going to make it up to you, but I'll make it up double for you. Bosses like that. That depends on your job. Some jobs you can't take a long lunch. When I worked in the factory, didn't work. I was assistant press operator. Machine didn't run if I wasn't there. Didn't take long lunches. Okay? So, common sense. Co-workers. Do you have excuse me, do you have trouble getting along with coworkers sometimes? Maybe it's because you don't say please and thank you to them. Maybe, just maybe, it's because you don't say please and thank you to them enough. They're coworkers. Most of my career I was not the official boss. I was oftentimes the team leader, either officially or not officially. And I usually thought of those people as my team members, but I also thought of them as my peers, and I said please and thank you a lot. I know I did because I was told I did. More than one commented on it over the years. I think that's a good habit to get in practice of, is saying please and thank you to your coworkers. Customers, oh my goodness. Don't even, let's hold this one back. Customers. How many people do not say please and thank you to customers? You know, restaurant workers are one of the first to come to mind, but convenience store clerks, grocery store clerks, Walmart greeters, some of them need to find a new line of work. You know, or if you own your own business, you're an auto mechanic owning your own shop. You know, instead of saying, give me the keys to your car, how about, may I please have the keys to your car? Creates a whole different environment. And as somebody's leaving, if you're at a cash register or you're just an employee, as somebody's leaving your shop, I had this happen to me recently at an auto repair shop. I'm not going to name. Actually, I will. It's Discount Tires down on Nationway here in Cheyenne. They're not affiliated with anyone else, but even though they have the same name, but I had 2 employees plus the store manager tell me thank you for being a customer, or thank you for bringing your car in. You know what? I want to go back. Imagine that. Workers in businesses. You know, I pick on people that don't say please and thank you to their customers. Well, if you're the customer, you should be saying please and thank you. Let's go back to one of the favorite illustrations I use often is servers in a restaurant. I use please towards them, and I tell them thank you. They bring me a refill, thank you. Even if I'm in the middle of talking to somebody, I take a pause and say, thank you, Sheila. Thank you, John. Every time they come by the table to do anything, if I don't need anything, they say, is everything okay? Thank you very much. You hear what I'm saying? Pets. We've got 2 dogs right here as I'm talking to you. I don't know where the others are. I actually say please and thank you to my pets. Do they understand me? Probably not. It's a good habit for me to get into. And by the way, I'm going to conclude with this thought. I threw in you're welcome at the beginning as an afterthought. Wasn't in my notes. I'm going to throw it in here as an ending thought, even though it's not in my notes. You're welcome. America seems to have a great deal of difficulty these days taking compliments and receiving compliments. I have always struggled with that. I had a very wise man tell me one day that when somebody gives you a compliment, you say thank you or you're welcome, depending on how they word it. When somebody says thank you, respond with you're welcome. When somebody says you did a good job, say thank you. These words can make all the difference in the world to how others treat you. All right, enough lecture. I love you. Bye.